Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you may already know, there's been some information spreading across the luxury community about Chanel enforcing some new rules at their boutiques. So off the top of my head, they're now limiting customers to 2 classic bags per year. They're doing away with the whole reserve system unless you're like a VIP customer. And also you will have to go physically into the boutique to purchase the classic bags. They will no longer be shipping them. And a lot of people have many thoughts about this, myself included. So I kind of want to talk about what I think about these new rules in today's video. But a bigger focus of this video is I want to talk about how I think the luxury space is really becoming not luxurious whatsoever. Chanel is only one example of this, but I just wanted to talk about some recent experiences at these luxury boutiques that really aren't very luxurious whatsoever. There's 3 that I could think of that I just think puts a really bad taste in my mouth. And it's funny because during a lot of these visits to the boutique, or for all of these kind of like experiences, my husband has been there with me. He's kind of like involved in this in a way. And he's just completely dumbfounded at how, these companies that are charging such outrageous prices for their items are providing such lackluster customer service. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about kind of like these 3 things in today's video. I think they're all kind of related in a way. So yeah, I'm going to start with the Chanel new restrictions at Chanel. For the most part, I don't really mind them that much. They're allowed to set whatever restrictions they want on the sale of their items. So if they want to limit, customers to buying 2 classic flaps a year, then okay, it is what it is. If they want to limit customers to buying that much, I could definitely live perfectly fine without buying 2 classic flaps a year. So, I don't really mind that too much. I get what people are saying about how you can't really plan ahead to figure out what your 2 purchases a year would be, but you know what, that's a good chance for you to kind of like enjoy what you've purchased. That kind of eliminates the feeling of FOMO in a way, because you're no longer stressed about finding this item that is so hot and popular because you can no longer purchase it. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about this as like a glass half full type of thing instead of half empty. That's not necessarily the perfect analogy for it, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying. The whole part about not being able to reserve anymore, I think I totally understand. It doesn't benefit me because I'm not a VIP customer. I don't think I ever will be like this elite VIP customer at Chanel. So yeah, it doesn't benefit me, but I can understand why they would want to do that because everyone is reserving all of these items, and I've walked into the boutiques before and the shelves are empty. Like there's barely anything there. If you have a potential customer walking by, even just outside their boutique, and they see that it's practically empty in there, they might not want to even enter, and it just turns them off of the brand. Why not go to a place that is like nicely decorated and stuff like that? I think companies put a very big emphasis on how the visuals of their store look. So I understand that, even though it will make my shopping for Chanel items like more difficult in the future. So yeah, I don't really mind those changes that much. They're just kind of like a minor annoyance, if anything. But the part that I really do mind is not being able to shop remotely anymore. So I've been shopping predominantly with the sales associate that is nowhere near me. There's no way that I can even like visit her unless I like book a vacation there. So that relationship is probably going to go down the drain going forward. And the boutiques that are by me, well, there's a few that are by me, but the one that I would consider going to the most, I just never had the greatest experiences there, and that's why I decided to shop remotely. So the fact that they're doing away with being able to shop remotely is just a step in the wrong direction in my opinion, because so many companies are building up their e-commerce presence. And yeah, Chanel, as we know, they didn't invest in that category. It doesn't seem like they ever will. And that's their choice. There's, companies like Hermes are not selling their most highly sought after Birkins and Kellys online either. So, like they could choose to not go into e-commerce if they want to, but at least you need to provide a good experience outside of the online space. So not being able to shop remotely is really a step in the wrong direction. And yes, for me, I do have some boutiques that are close by to me, but there are customers that, they might not live somewhere where there's a Chanel, and how are they ever going to buy something from Chanel anymore? And I also heard some talks about Chanel opening specific locations for like their VIP customers to shop at, and basically if you're just some random shopper that shops at Chanel occasionally, or you're not spending 6-7 figures with them every single year, then you're not allowed at that location. And that is just awful business, in my opinion. It's one thing if you're keeping customers from buying specific items like Hermes with Birkins and Kellys, and it's a totally different thing keeping customers from your stores completely. That's just a whole different ballpark, and that's just, horrible business practice in my opinion. And this whole kind of like news about Chanel is only one little factor into why I think luxury is no longer luxurious. And it's just that I feel like the more people are buying into luxury, which in the past, like 2 or so years, there's definitely so many people that are shopping at these luxury boutiques compared to before. Like there's lines outside almost every store now. And previously, okay, with social distancing and stuff, you don't want to allow too many people into the boutique at once. But now it's almost sort of like just restricting entry for the heck of restricting entry. And I personally do not like waiting online. So if there is a line outside the store, I just rather not go in. So lines are not very luxurious. Not being able to enter a store without waiting online, also not very luxurious. And I think the thing that grinds my gears the most is when sales associates are just plain rude. And I haven't encountered that many rude sales associates, but the ones that are rude really stand out to me. And those experiences are the ones that really stick in my memory. And it's enough to completely turn me off from a brand entirely. So this just brings me to, like the stories that I wanted to tell you guys. So I think I hinted at this a little bit in one of my recent videos. It was like a shopping blog video. So I guess like a little bit of backstory is that usually I don't shop in stores at Louis Vuitton. I don't have a dedicated sales associate, and I found methods that kind of like work well enough for me to find the items that I want, just getting them online through their website. If you want to see a video where I talk about, like some ways that have worked for me to get hard to find Louis Vuitton items, I'll have that video linked up here. But recently there was this item from Louis Vuitton that I decided I wanted fairly late into the game. Basically, the launch for the collection happened like 2 weeks or so before I decided I wanted that item. So as you may expect, it was no longer available online. So I decided, okay, if I'm at the mall, I'll just see if I can pop into the boutique and take a look at that collection and see if they have the item in stock. So I went inside and I was just looking around, and eventually this lady came by to ask me like if I needed help with anything. And I said, oh yeah, I want to take a look at their new collection, the Spring by the City collection. And specifically, I have something in mind that I want to get, but first I want to look at the different color options that they have, because they came out with 3, and the one that I was really interested in was called Sunrise Pastel, I believe. So I asked her, did they have anything in that color scheme? And when I told her that, I think she thought that the item I wanted was different from the item that I actually wanted. And that will come into play in a little bit. So she was like, okay, let me check around the store to see if they have something in that sunrise pastel color. And it turned out that they had one single item in that color, and another customer happened to be looking at it at the time. So, okay, that's perfectly fine. But what was really awkward for me is like she came back to me and she just like waved for me to like follow her. And she basically led me to the spot that was like kind of like maybe like 5 feet or so behind that other customer, and she just pointed at that bag that was in that color, and she was like, yeah, that's it. And I just felt so awkward standing there, kind of like hovering over someone's back to like look at something. I don't know, it was just really strange for me. And she was basically like, do you like it? And how am I supposed to be able to tell anything from that far away? I actually have like horrible vision. I'm just wearing contacts right now. So I was basically like, can I take a look at it? And she said, no. I asked that sales associate and they said the customer is currently considering it. And okay, that's fine, you know, like it makes sense. If I was in her shoes, I wouldn't want someone to basically snatch something away from me. It's like first come, first serve in a way. So okay, that's fine. I'll like wait my turn, and if they buy it, you know, then they buy it. But just standing there creeping on her was so awkward to me. I don't do well in those types of situations whatsoever. I'm like way too self-conscious for that. So I think eventually that customer decided to pass on the bag. So the person who was helping me brought over the bag for me to look at. And I think I looked at it for all of 30 seconds before she decided to push a sale on me. So she had her iPad with her and she pulled up the item that she thought I wanted on the iPad, and she said, oh, it's available to order. And I told her, no, this is not actually what I wanted. I told her what I wanted. And when she pulled up that item, it said it was out of stock everywhere and she couldn't even order it. And that is the moment that her demeanor completely changed, because she probably realized she was not going to make the sale. And my husband noticed that too, and he was just confused. And in my opinion, even if you can't make a sale right at that moment, if you make a good first impression on a potential customer, they might return and buy something from you in the future. You know, I totally would consider going back there, especially since that location did not have any lines outside the store. And it's actually a closer store to my home too. So basically, I had put that bag down on the table, and she basically, without even asking me if I was still interested in the bag, she just took it and she went off somewhere to like place it back on a shelf. And okay, that is fine because, you know, I wasn't interested in the bag anyways. But I feel like most sales associates would ask me like what items they could put back before they actually just like snatch it away, right? So she was kind of like putting that back on the shelf, and I basically walked over to her and I asked her if I could see this other bag in a different color from that same collection. I was taking a look at this other bag, the second one, and I had this question that I wanted to ask her about the handle, because it was like really, really stiff. So I was trying to ask her that question, and I don't know if she ignored me or if she didn't hear me, but basically I got no response whatsoever. So I kind of like, I took the bag and I wanted to see how it looked in a mirror. So I kind of like walked further away to a mirror. I tried it on, and then she came by, and then I tried to ask her that question again, and she once again ignored me. You know, like, how could you not hear me 2 times in a row? That's ridiculous. So she ignored my question again, and oh my gosh, what she said was so ridiculous. She was basically like, are you going to buy that? If not, I'm going to put it back on the shelf. And I was just like, you know, take it back, take it back. And like right after that, I just walked out of the store, and she didn't even like say bye to me or anything. You know, I wasn't expecting her to say bye. I just like left. I was like, okay, that, you know, I could overlook certain things that happen. You know, sometimes, you know, like things just get lost in translation, or sometimes you could like read body language wrong or something like that. You know, I give people benefit of the doubt, but something like that was just oh my gosh, it was so blatantly obvious that she was like so done with me, and I wasn't about to give someone like that my business, even if there was something that I wanted. So yeah, that was just, it was enough of a bad experience to make me never want to purchase from Louis Vuitton ever again. So that is kind of like the worst of the worst. But it got me to thinking that there have been some other experiences recently that also just aren't great. So the next one I want to talk about is at Chanel. So there was this one instance where I wanted to visit the boutique near me. So I do have the contact information for the sales associate there that I've purchased like a few things from him, within the past 2 years or so. So I had texted them saying, hey, can I make an appointment for whatever date, whatever time? And he confirmed that yes, your appointment is set. So when that day came, I went over there, and the boutique was basically like kind of like fenced off. There was someone that was at the entrance that had this kind of like notebook type thing, which I assumed they wrote their appointments in. So I told her, hey, I'm here to see whoever. I have an appointment for whatever time. And she looked at the notebook and she was like, I don't have you down here. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? And they were just like, oh, just like go wait online and we'll figure it out. And so I texted the person. I was like, hey, I'm here. I think there's some type of disconnect because it doesn't seem like the appointment was in their book. And I never got a text back. The people that were by the entrance keeping people out of the store, they didn't seem to follow up on it or anything. And eventually, I made it to the front of the line and I was able to enter. But going back, I don't think I would have waited on that line. Someone should have followed up and figured out if I actually made an appointment. And the funny thing is, after I was able to enter the store, I never saw that sales associate the whole time I was there. I didn't even see him passing by. And I never got a text in response to the message I sent him saying, oh, sorry, I missed you. Sorry, there was like a hiccup in like communication and you had to wait online instead of entering on time for your appointment. Yeah, that was just not a great experience. And couple that with all these new changes Chanel keeps making, it's just makes me less and less likely to purchase from Chanel. I don't think I will rule out purchasing from Chanel completely just yet, but yeah, it's like eventually you just kind of like hit your breaking point. So the last story I wanted to tell you guys is actually still kind of like happening right now. I'll provide an update at the end of this video. Whatever the case is, if it's good or bad, I'll provide an update at the end of the video. So I recently ordered something off of Fendi's website. It's actually from the Fendace collection. Yeah, I did not expect myself to buy anything from that collection, which is why I decided to order it online, because I saw that it was available online, but I had no idea if it would still be available in stores. So I decided to have that item shipped to the store to pick up there, because I wouldn't be able to pick it up right away if it got shipped to my home. And I just didn't want to leave it downstairs with the front desk for too long. So I decided it would be safer if I had it shipped to the store. So that was probably a mistake. I thought that, how could things go wrong, right? So I got the shipping confirmation from just like the automated message from Fendi's online boutique saying that it has shipped, and I was able to track the package and everything. And I saw it got delivered to the boutique like 4 days ago at this point. And basically in the order confirmation email from Fendi, it had actually said that when the order arrives at the boutique and it's available for pickup, they will send me another email saying, hey, you can go to the boutique to pick it up. So I saw that the item had been delivered to the boutique, but I gave it like 2 days or so and I never got this email from Fendi. So I called the customer service and I was like, hey, I see that this has been delivered. Can I go pick up this item? And customer service was not really able to help me. They could see the same thing that I could, that it was delivered to the boutique, but they were like, I don't see why you can't go in there to pick it up. But yeah, usually you should wait for the email. So they were like, have you tried contacting the boutique? And I was like, I figured that it's better to call you guys because no one at any boutique ever picks up the phone. And she was like, yeah, if they're busy, they don't pick up. And she said, let me try calling them. And she, I assume, called them and no one picked up. So she told me that she would send an email to see if, you know, they have it and I could go in, and she would email me back or call me back to let me know the kind of like conclusion of this. And I never got any, you know, call or email back from her. I don't really fault her for this because my gut instinct is that the boutique never got back to her. So yeah, I've been trying to call the boutique to find out what is going on ever since I contacted customer service. And yeah, I've never been able to reach anyone at the boutique. There's not even a voicemail that I can leave. This is like absolutely ridiculous. I literally have better experiences doing Target pickup than like picking up something that costs like 1,000 times maybe more than what I'm picking up from Target. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. So what I'm doing right after I finish filming this video is I'm actually going to the Fendi store, and I'll keep you guys updated with what happens. I kind of have this weird feeling that they maybe even sold my item instead of keeping it aside for me when they received it. Yeah, who knows? I'm just like kind of like thinking the worst, but sometimes you can kind of expect the worst at these stores anyways. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. So good news, I was able to pick up the item that I had ordered. Maybe I worried myself for nothing. So anyways, an unboxing will be coming very soon on my channel, so definitely stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on kind of like everything I discussed today. How do you feel about these new rules at Chanel? Do you also feel the same way as me that, you know, like shopping for luxury items is no longer a luxury experience? It no longer feels luxurious in any way whatsoever. I only have good experiences at Dior, honestly. Ever since I found like the sales associate I've been using constantly now, yeah, I've had nothing but good experiences at Dior. There were some kind of like hiccups in the past too, but I would say that I am happy with my experiences shopping at Dior. But yeah, overall, shopping for luxury items is not great, I must say. And also let me know if you've had any bad experiences shopping at luxury boutiques yourself. And is there anything specific that either myself or anyone watching this video should avoid? Like any specific places maybe? Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing for new videos every single week on luxury and fashion. And I'll leave 2 videos on the screen for you guys to watch next. So I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.